Welcome back to Chengdu, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful view as we hover over the air of game number 2 against OMG and BLG. Hello and welcome back. My name's Hysterics. This is Mr. Preacher Fu. And Mr. Preacher Fu, let me ask you one thing. I know I've been doing it with Clement.
All right,
Clement,
go on.
Clement doesn't have a
No, he
casting game.
doesn't.
It annoys me.
Go on.
This is a series that I don't think is over, and I think far from it.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close in game number 1 as well. You thought that BLG were going to win. OMG come back. We only have this next champion select to see what we got in store for game number 2.
Clean, methodical play from BLG to the point where OMG just go, screw it, we're going to fight the full 5-on-5, and they win it, of course, because the naturality, the composition at work here. And part of that was the fact that, you know, Curse got in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that this was OMG's choice to start fighting, but Curse was actually collapsed onto by BLG. Everybody else on his team said, no, we're not actually going to let our top laner die in 4v5. We're actually going to call everybody in. And you can see the slow collapse coming out from the rest of his team. The funnel upwards as well in the rest of this fight to make sure that everybody downwards, their backline never gets hit. You know that that's going to work out wonders for them. That was the first team fight that won. The next one around Elder Drake is the one that solidified the game for them, because you've got to keep your eyes on the Icon over here. He lives for the longest time in the backline. He has the Seraphs in order to stay alive. Best BG's impersonation, because he's even got the Zhonyas over there, dealing so much damage after the cooldowns come back up.
Yeah, Icon should have died twice in that fight, but you know, Ryze, ladies and gentlemen, just the way it goes, and that's why Icon's going to be the MVP. 36% damage. That handsome man is making work in game number 1.
And well-deserved as well. 717, 87% kill participation. You know for certain that if anything was happening on the map, Icon was going to be involved.
He definitely was. Icon on the rise. How iconic. I have no other word for it.
Again,
I'm so sorry. Yeah. So just looked absolutely magnificent. And coming into the series, there's a lot of focus on the top laner in Curse. And I want to break that down a little, because in game number 1, harassed a little. That gank that came up into the top lane kept him behind up until the mid game, where he started to take on the 1v1s, getting help from his own jungler in the mid game in the bottom lane. And Curse suddenly getting back in until we get to those team fights. And Curse is just like a monster. It
was the survivability, and I like the fact that the first team fight that brought it back for his team was actually engaged onto Curse, because it's difficult for Riven to get onto the backline of his enemy team, but if they come to you, they just get free Y-Mide over to your delivery place. All of a sudden, you've got your W, you've got your third Q as well. Both of those disrupt the enemy team and buy enough time for your team to dish out the deeps.
And they're waiting for Meteor in that top lane and thinking that we can kill Curse off of this, but again, still a big bruise of the Riven, and good to see that the first Riven of the split is the rookie top laner from OMG. It's not Jinu, you know, it's not like, who else we got? The Shy, who we're still waiting to see Riven on in 2019, to be fair. So it's not all these individual players that are known for their Rivens. Instead, it's the rookie in Curse.
And it's also the fact that we highlighted Curse when he gets a little bit behind. He just split. I'm not even going to say he split pushes. He split farms, because he never actually hits the turrets on the enemy team. But it worked out so well inside of this composition, because he was the ultimate bait that everybody was actually moving towards. I just want to see Curse maybe branch out a little bit more and be more proactive. And this is a very good highlight to all the Rivens out there. Don't feed, because if you die a little bit early, you can come back.
Yeah, if you're a Riven, hot tip. Don't feed. That's from everyone in solo queue, by the way. So if you don't take that advice, I'm very upset. We get too many Rivens over here in Chinese solo queue. But what I want to say is that coming into this next game, there's now new expectations on a team like BLG. We know they can diversify. We know that, you know, the Sylas mid is still a good champion for Kuro, but we know it doesn't end there. Aatrox banned away. A lot of flex picks that BLG can still play with.
I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? We got the Aatrox, we got the Irelia, we got the Akali as well. All three of those are in very high contention by both of these two teams, not just by Kuro in specific. Yep. And they flex towards mid, they flex towards top, so it's going to be very tight in the champs lane.
Akali was left open there as well. They opted in for the Riven instead.
They did.
Akali made it all the way through here and pick and ban. Just goes to show you in the LPL that individual dynamics are so much more important than what's in the meta.
Exactly. I mean, the one reason why Akali is so strong right now is the fact that the kid is overloaded. She has so many ways of escaping the enemy and also getting back into the middle of the team fight. Who needs that? I mean, Riven also has a very good kit, and if you're more comfortable on it, like we saw Curse, I mean, Curse is a carry AD fighter in the top lane. Just go with what you're comfortable on.
It's part of that flex meta that we're still sitting in 9.10, and over in the LEC, LCS, still at 9.11. We're looking directly at it, so OMG showed they can play it well. They showed they're up to date, they're hip, they're cool with it. BLG in the same boat as well. So both these teams seem evenly matched, and that's what I love about this, that OMG, this could be the start of their former glory, the return to it, I should say.
Here we go.
Early to say, but much like LNG, easy to get on the hype train with the way they've been playing.
It is easy to say that they are going to look so well, especially given their first game, when they fall behind for the vast majority of it, but they bide their time, they're patient, and in the last couple of team fights, rather than deserting your individual players and trying to 4v5, you play as a 5-man unit. You know that this is the team that you want to get behind.
And if we can get behind the dynamic of Crystal and Hudie recovering after what was Hudie getting caught out so many times in that game, Crystal found his way in that fight. Hudie as well, 3-man shielded Duran, saved it, brought it to a good point. Cataclysm came down, and then Crystal started firing. And that bottom lane for OMG, you know, the mid to late game didn't look half bad.
And we're not going to ignore the elephant in the room, the missed ultimate and also the missed flash coming out from Crystal. He just recovered so well in the last bit of the game. You mentioned Hudie actually using his Justice Punch to kill himself a couple of times within the game. Recovered as well with his flash taunts. You know that this team is more or less tilt-proof, and that's what you need in competitive.
You definitely do, but Penguin, howdly doodly, this is going to be for him, I think, what's a good way to put this? A good chance to show that he is, one, an upgraded best 16 in spring where they were deciphering between the two, but ultimately it was Penguin who showed more promise and stayed towards the end of spring. And two, whether this jungler has a wider champion pool as well. We've seen the Jarvan now on top of the Sejuani, which was played by the opposite team, BLG's top lane ADD. And we've also seen the Elise there too, so there's a bit of a wheelhouse being spread out for someone like Penguin.
He could definitely play the meta. He could definitely play towards what his team needs as well. Didn't pick up the Sejuani, but it is always available. And I like that you talk about that because there is something very unique about the way that OMG draft later on in series. What happens is they almost use game number 1 as a test filter to see what the enemy team like playing. And in game number 2, if they don't ban it away, they love picking it for themselves and just trying to say, no, I'm actually better on this than you are, or at the very least, you don't get to play it 2 times in a row. It worked out so well for them in their previous series, especially against WE, and I want to see it in this series because even though they won, they had a little bit of a downhill in the early game, and they can patch that up.
On that note for OMG, remember that Icon in that series against WE picked up the Renekton mid-first game, got to second game, banned away by WE, and then we get to the third again, and they're like, oh, wait, we forgot to ban Renekton mid, and Icon hops back on it because it was so successful. So that filter adapts around the side of the mid lane too, because Icon is having a fantastic game so far, or series so far after game number 1, as we crunch again into game number 2. This time I want to see what changes because it is so fickle between these two teams. It was one moment that changed the game, and OMG and BLG is on a knife's edge.
And honestly, don't miss the forest of the trees. If you ban away the Ryze, all of a sudden the Renekton could come into the mid lane. You know that it's a hard counter towards Sylas. Just don't do anything like that. Stick to your bans. You know that this player can play that champion so strong. It's your priority.
I like that we're seeing the Sejuani banned in the first phase here now, of course, in North America, LEC. I should call it what it is, LCS. I've seen a lot of Sejuani jungle, especially over in the LCS. Over here in the LPL, we've started to make that shift. It's almost like
here we go.
TL beating IG, you know, we took something from North America. I'm just kidding, of course. Please don't take that seriously. But BLG on the blue side, a lot of flexes left open available, and this time they'll snag the Ryze.
Yeah, I'm leaving you alone on that island, but I am going to talk about the champions that are still available. It's very natural for the Aatrox to be off because his mini rework was very strong inside of this patch. Now, all we need to look at is how the OPs get distributed, because another huge thing that is glaring to me is the J4. He is the last top-tier jungler that is still available ever since the Rek'Sai and the Sejuani and Olaf both got taken off. So hopefully we get to see him up.
Well, but OMG first, deciphering the mid/top lane there with the Sylas. Kuro and Icon have pretty much just swapped champions for this game if that is going into the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about, denying away all of these heavy picks. Let's see if BLG can recover from that, because it's good to know your own champions, but it's better to know what exactly counters it. If you play it a lot, then you start to feel, this champion's maybe way too strong. One of the things that I actually really like into the Jarvan is actually the Elise, because Elise is really good at denying engages and counter-engaging with the Cocoon, so maybe that could be an option for BLG.
Yeah, it has been a priority across the world, but let's not do junglers. BLG get their bottom lane. Sivir and Yuumi both great picks at the moment, and For XinMo, this will be his 3rd time picking up the champion.
I will say that Yuumi works so well with an ADC who can hard clear waves and constantly shove. Sivir does that. I like this bottom lane.
Yeah, I really do as well. There's a reason they're paired so well together at the moment. So OMG say, look, let's get engage of our own. What counters the Yuumi lane? Well, give him an Alistar, send him into the fray, and that's exactly what Hudie is going to do this game. See what AD carry they're able to get through the second ban phase.
I was about to say a hook champion like, for instance, the Nautilus would be really good. It's going to be a little bit weak to see the Alistar because, of course, the main priority of the Yuumi is she can W back towards the ADC, and Alistar is very targeted. I mean, yeah, you have to target your headbutt, and that travel animation is enough time for the Yuumi to react. So this is going to be a little bit punishing against OMG.
One part of it as well, remember, can be spell shielded, and which part that is going to decide on Jinjiao this game, but it's just back to square one. Banning Crystal's Draven, getting another AD carry off the board seems to be the way to go. The Lucian was banned away last time by BLG on red side, while OMG this time have just hit the junglers hard. A-tier, S-tier junglers seem to be gone from Summoner's Rift, and it'll have to be a test of faith to see what Meteor goes on. Remember, he's played Camille before, so let's see if he goes there again.
He has, and he's also just picked any other fighter that you want in the top side. One thing that I really need to point out right now is that Galio is still open. And this is going to be dangerous if BLG pick it up because there is a Sylas on the side of OMG, which means he can steal that ultimate and use it in conjunction with the Jarvan. It's going to be really difficult to actually play against this comp.
Well, remember, we haven't seen the Galio into the mid lane, so right now it looks like there will not be a priority of it as Lucian gets locked on in. Bottom lane secured here for both. Meteor just going down the list of useful junglers into this composition, and with Paranoia into a Ryze, let's see what happens, because this Scorpion has not been seen in the LPL just yet. We've got 13 seconds to decide.
Oh, the NA special. Let's see if the LCS has really influenced our playstyle. Meteor.
Oh man, there's so many people I could think about right now. Just going, what the heck are you saying?
Are they doing it? Are they actually going to lock it in?
And they do it. So
wow.
Skarner here for Meteor, the debut in the LPL. Look, no stats.
I mean, it's bold, but it's good because it synergizes with the Ryze ultimate and also with the Sivir ultimate. Both of those allow him to get to his target and bring him back. Also forces the QSS purchase from every single carry on OMG. So this could actually be very deadly.
He could be getting a little bit of extra pressure from the Gangplank. That ADD's locked in. One of his best champions in the top lane. He's very persistent about picking this up, although spring stats do not reflect how good he could potentially be. But OMG, hovering around the Azir. Now, if this gets locked in, it looks like a Sylas will be into the top lane. And there it is. Corki for Icon in the mid lane. Now, Corki and Icon have a good history here, and especially in spring, he was one of the first people to pick it up.
Very comfortable on this mid lane because he can always get out to safety, which is one of the important things in the early game against the Skarner. Even though there's no ultimate available before 6, he still does have the stun. So, of course, Corki being able to Velk out of situations, very useful, especially against a cage that the Ryze provides. I'm more interested in Curse on the Sylas, though. We have seen him carry so much in the top lane. Let's see his hand on this mage.
Because you're going up against ADD's Gangplank, and you know that you don't have the range advantage. Gangplank likes melee matchups. Just due to the fact that the barrels can stay there for a little bit longer and not get destroyed. But I'm curious to see how that goes again, Preacher. You're right. Will it be as influenced as heavily as Game 1 by the junglers? Will Curse be able to get a lead here, finally, to start Game 2 off? Or will ADD and his Gangplank kind of just wreak havoc up there once again?
Well, can I just say that stealing the Gangplank's ultimate, you actually have AP. Scaling with AP, your one's going to do a whole lot more damage.
That's true.
Yeah.
Gangplank ulti. It's so annoying when you hit level 6 first, or rather, he hits level 6 first, and you're a GP who's yet to get there. Bottom lane fight comes out, and you're like, yes, there's GP ulti, but wait, it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no flash available, you might just well die from the ultimate alone. So that is very deadly from everybody, and you got to watch out for that because it's a really good matchup just for global influence.
Yep. So top lane matchup is secure, Preacher. I want to break down these compositions a little bit further here because the Skarner coming into the mix adds something quite unique that we haven't seen into the LPL yet.
We just said that it's worth it simply because it synergizes with everybody. Even the Yuumi ultimate, if you can lock down 2 or 3 members, it's yours for the picking. Who do you want to actually pick up? And surely they would use the QSS, so it's burned for your liking, and then you can just pull either the Lucian or the Corki back to your team.
A lot of late game scaling there as well for BLG. Sivir, Ryze, Gangplank, facilitators there in the Yuumi and the Scorpion Skarner. I like this from BLG. This resembles a BLG that we knew and loved in spring. Team fighting not too half bad to fix up what happened in game 1 as well. So OMG looks like they're going to be really challenged here in this game. As we look to break down it further, we get into game number 2 and ask ourselves, are OMG really doing this against a team that was just edging outside of playoffs? Can OMG continue the run, or will BLG finally look to challenge them and take this the distance? Well, let's get right into it and stop asking questions. I'm just saying, he sounds deflated. Get out of here, LGD.
Mate, that's not really a polite thing to say, especially seeing as his team just lost the very first game. But look, he definitely needs to give him a whole lot of their support.
Colonel!
Here we go.
What is this?
All right, I think the main reason why he is backing OMG so heavily is because the onus is actually on OMG in order to get the lead, which they do have a lot of really good early game tools to do so. BLG's team composition is just late game. I mean, you're just waiting for everybody to get scaled, especially Meteor, to get some movement speed items in order to come online. So OMG have all of the free reign in the world until 15 minutes. It's their playground.
It's not like OMG don't have scaling themselves, though. We know what Sylas can be. Corki is a late game animal. Lucian will be the one falling off in the 80 carry matchup, so seems like there's a way to facilitate into the late game. Move into the mid game, Crystal will be at his strongest. It's going to be the Comet on the Yuumi this time. Comet on the Sylas top as well. Couple of times, I was discussing this with Raz the other cast, that now we've seen the Comet onto the Sylas a little bit more.
And it's smart in a way because you have Hudie in order to be the engage with the Aftershock as well. So you don't necessarily need Curse with the Aftershock to tank things up. And the more damage that you can do against GP, especially under turret, the better. Because it just means that he has to back more frequently. Bad backs means that he can't come back and contest.
Yeah, a bad back as well is no way to carry too. OMG getting pushed in early in this bottom lane. And if you're wondering what this is our POV streams that'll be taking place. And this time it'll be on Jinjiao. There was a Twitter link the other day that you can go and find. Feel free to ask any of the beautiful people in chat. They'll take you the way over on Doyu.
And the intricacies of a Sivir, when you watch her in lane, is honestly something that should be highlighted, because when you use your W and how you manipulate the wave, especially if you know the enemy junglers around, is so important.
That's a very fair point, is manipulating the top lane here for Curse already. The Comet using full effect into ADD, who has to pop his pots early. Meteor making an impression into the mid lane. Dodged away there from the E. And a quick Valkyrie out of there. Just auto him. 1, 2. Have it. Yep, have another. The Gatling gun at work, so Meteor just has to back away.
That's the security that we were talking about. There is a lockdown coming out from Kuro at all times. So long as you keep the Valkyrie for nothing but disengage, Meteor cannot gank mid.
Yep, because it's already a bit of a lead building between the junglers. So while that time comes through from Meteor to go to the mid lane on the Predator Skarner, Penguin busy getting CS, moving towards the bottom side and this bottom scuttle. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade across rivers, but that means that Meteor can help out ADD a little bit more.
And you'd have to say that with both of these two scuttles being traded, the better one is Meteor getting the top side, because if you needed to get a kill in a gank, you would go into the top side. Bottom side looks so safe for both of these two teams that you would really only consider both the Gangplank or the Sylas to be prime targets.
And now finally getting to shove into the bottom lane as well, even though it would be a little bit easier. As you said, a lot of disengage there. So BLG getting a taste of their own medicine. This is a massive wave that's coming up, which Jinjiao should be able to clear, but he's run out of mana. So some of the perks of Sivir at going up against the Lucian, you need to predict when that light sling is going to come through.
And the best thing about Lucian is you just don't have to even use it. Just never use it on the Sivir, and she is just permanently out of mana. All of a sudden, you're in a really good place, both in terms of CS and also in terms of fighting. It's working out well for OMG.
I want to take another look at the junglers, though, because Penguin is towards this bottom side of Crystal and Hudie. Going for the deep invade. Meteor, not sure if you've spotted out on ward, but good timings here from Penguin. Picking up the Spire. Get yourself a nice cheeky Krug, but Meteor's nearby.
And they know that there's a ward that spots both of them out. So BLG is coming here. OMG, what are you doing sticking around?
Yeah, Penguin's going to get stuck down. XinMo's there as well. The Yuumi wants to play the cat and mouse game, but Hudie is blocking for Penguin, so support needed in this situation, otherwise Penguin was dead.
And Kuro used his TP onto a minion in mid lane, but honestly, if he just used it off of cooldown straight onto the turret and then walked down into the jungle, that could have been an easy first blood for BLG. It was so dangerous for OMG, and quite honestly, they are just lucky that they didn't get collapsed on.
Yeah, they really are. TP is going to be used, though, by Icon to get back into lane, so at least it's a summoner for a summoner. Curse very deep into this jungle once again. Look at the priority on vision here from OMG. Starting this split off right, they're challenging BLG, where the vision game was so highly contested, and for Curse, able to pick up 2 Spires on the way.
Denying away as many as you possibly can from Meteor heavily slows his clear speed, and especially in the early game, when your mission is just rush to 6, that could make all of the difference.
Yeah, it really can. He is ahead in CS for now, though, has the Predator boots locked on down. Setting up for this bottom side, Scuttle seems to be the next go-ahead as well, because there's a Mountain Dragon ready to be hit. Spire now his. He can walk into Penguin and challenge for a smite.
Yeah, this is very odd. I mean, I'm just going to say it right now. Not too sure why he's engaging so heavily into Penguin's jungle. Now he definitely has no backup. So questionability all around. And even though he gets a Spire, it's not the biggest worth.
He has 15 gold. You get a bit of movement speed. Remember how big the Spires are now as well. So
they're massive.
Connects to another. Still trying to threaten away from Icon, but he's hit level 6. He has a lot more poke. Penguin's nearby. Hudie's there as well. Kuro going to lock down Icon here, but the trade's already there. Meteor stayed for way too long.
That was a massive 3-pop coming out from Icon as well. The magic damage coming out from the level 6 Corki ultimate is very strong against the Skarner, who can't really fight back.
Yeah, it was easy for Icon to walk down there as well. Remember what we talked about with team compositions here. For OMG, they've got a very good transition into that mid game, the Lucian and the bottom lane. And it's being hovered around quite heavily now, so for Jinjiao and XinMo, they don't have dominance here. OMG are able to pressure up, and Penguin able to make plays like this where he threatens the Mountain Dragon, he continues to stay down here. Top's left on an island right now, and for ADD, that's working out better than expected.
It's smart to pop it, however, now he has to decide whether he wants to get control of the Spire or not. Even if you give the Spire over, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're giving over everything else to Meteor. Whoa. He wants this.
Penguin might have to flag and drag out of there. On the hunt has been proc. There's the flash. He's out, but he is locked down in the end. Anyway, Penguin goes down first blood with the boomerang blade.
That's what we were expecting, but I was expecting a little bit later when everybody started grouping up. I didn't know that Jinjiao was just going to outright use her on the hunt with Meteor, who's not even level 6. But hey, it worked out. Stun on the Penguin.
Really nice invade there from BLG. Concise, planned, and that first blood going over to the Sivir bottom lane, not what you want if you're Crystal and Hudie.
It just means that there's more wave clear as well. Get your Essence Reaver first. You're not even wanting for mana, and you have no real holes in your kit, whilst you have all of that healing and trading potential against OMG's bot lane.
Means that they were able to put a deep ward in as well. Penguin set back here in the jungle. Going back towards that top side. He's got a lot of clearing to do, but for Meteor, should be getting closer to 6. Not going to get it off the blue buff, of course. It's going to go over to Kuro, but should be so darn close as Curse just missing out by a second.
Feels bad when it happens.
That's annoying. Look at this. He's clearing.
Oh,
no.
Why didn't Curse do it? I mean, it still shows that you're there, even if you don't take it, but
he's got a Gangplank ult as well.
Yeah.
So he's on the move.
Should be watching bottom lane as well, because even though there's a spell shield, it doesn't do anything against the GP ultimate.
No, it definitely doesn't, but you will say that Jinjiao will block the first part of it and then continue to take damage from it. So good positioning, always going to be key here as the wave is pushing in. So opportunity for that Gangplank ulti to come out sooner rather than later, but I think Jinjiao and XinMo have backing, or no, screw that, let's not back, we'll stay in lane. Finally we see the ulti and it's towards the top lane.
And that's the reason why XinMo is one of our highly rated Yuumi players, because he actually does the windy Q as opposed to straight Q. A lot of
that reason alone that he's top tier.
I mean, a lot of support players, they go for the straight Q just because it guarantees a hit more or less, but the windy Q does more damage, and you have to sort of rely on your mechanics and also the lack of mechanics by your enemies in order to really hit it.
Never did I think I'd be casting the LPL talking about windy
the
Qs
windy
of a
Qs.
cat champion.
I'm telling you, that's the reason.
As Penguin invades, it just looks for the Raptor. He leaves a small one because he's a pest. Meteor has to back away now, finally hitting level 6. But Penguin has just caught up, so it's not like there's a massive advantage in the jungle. The only real one right now is towards the bottom lane. Everywhere else, again, in this game too, is even. Another testament to how this game is going. And that's a windy Q once again, while the rest of OMG get Dragon.
And look, this is just really punishing for BLG, because even though they have the advantage on the bottom side of the map.
Oh.
They can't necessarily, however, the
They
TP.
need to get this quick. Penguin is going to get it eventually.
The
Saves
flank?
the smite, but Penguin should be able to die here again as ADD looks for Hudie. They've already gotten one. Final chapter's down.
Nice.
Hudie into the unbreakable will, but he used it at the wrong time. ADD picks up a kill too, and BLG trade 2 kills for a dragon.
First one does nothing. You need to wait until the third wave, pop your ultimate in order to run out. Hudie, not really familiar against this champion and pays his life for it.
He dies in the end. Mobility boots picked up, able to get back out to Summoner's Rift very quickly, but Meteor's going to take the maximum here. A camp, a kill, an assist.
You got
All
it.
that kind of. I was like, okay, maybe he got a little bit, but we'll look at how this started because it was a teleport flank from ADD.
And finally, onto OMG as well. They do pick up the Dragon as a consolation, but when Penguin is locked down, that is really what you have to look for. And look, this is just feels bad, man, because Hudie gets locked down, even though he had his ultimate, just used it at the wrong time and pays the price.
And now they have to make something work. Hudie, great Hex Flash over the wall onto Kuro. They get him. Aggressive here from OMG. And XinMo's the cat stuck between the wall and the turret. Poor little kitty just gets destroyed.
Dang. The over-aggression coming out from OMG not being punished because Meteor didn't decide to actually go across the wall. You could see the indecision. Do I go behind? Do I go in front? And in the end, he chose neither, which means that both of those two players just get taken down.
And OMG once again are making the lane swap. The bottom lane gets ahead and they go, right, what do we do? Crystal, Hudie, go to the top side of the map. A very quick rotation where now look at what happened with BLG. Gangplank still up here by himself. 80 carry goes mid. The Yuumi, almost called a Nico once again, goes to the mid lane as well. So OMG are going to get a bit of turret plating from this. Kurtz gets some solo time with that turret. And things now looking much better for the Sylas in the top lane. And Icon picked a kill off that last play. Mid lane is by far ahead.
This is definitely working out for OMG. They're 1 kill down, but they are very firmly in the lead with gold.
Oh, I don't think Crystal wins that 1v1, but I'm not too sure at the moment.
Not a 1v1 that we really want to see, and I don't really think BLG wanted it either.
Says
However, XinMo, he's definitely trying to make some strides, and this is really odd because BLG, while they do have the tempo around this side, we just saw the OMG want to fight. They do have the gold advantage, and players are close enough to collapse, especially with the TP on Icon.
And they've got deep wards in the top side of the map towards the blue side river, and that's going to be because Curse made the effort early to track what was happening in the jungle. He was tracking Meteor purely through his roams. So this is why we're talking so highly of this rookie player in the top lane. Curse is looking good in the lane. He's moved towards the bottom side and now has to split against Kuro. So it's going to be a very different story for the Sylas against the Ryze. But at this point, you say, look, Icon, if he's into anyone but the bottom lane, he's looking good too. So OMG with mid control after what's just being said. They're going to start up this Rift Herald. And this doesn't look contested.
It definitely looks like a 2 for 2. They got the Mountain Drake, and then now they're also getting the Rift Herald. They are all over the objectives in the early game, and they are trying to exploit the fact that Meteor cannot fight this early on. Sure, he has the ultimate and also the Predator Bridge, but it's quite frankly not enough when the rest of his team cannot join. You're taking a look at a Ryze, you're taking a look at a Gangplank, neither of which are very happy in the early game. Get those turret plates.
Yeah, and Gangplank's walking up to a turret that's not going to exist, surely. Plating going to be dropped here as well. 30 seconds before it exists.
De-exists.
De-exists,
nice.
New word of the day, folks. Some would say stops existing. That's going to happen right here. That's the turret. And that solo gold went over to Crystal. Thank you very much. Now the AD carry is in a good spot moving into the mid game.
I mean, it's great because Crystal's also taken TP as well, so whenever he decides to go back, it's not really a member off the board. That's usually one of the biggest complaints about ADCs going back for their power spikes, but Crystal can just go whenever he wants. The Blade of the Ruin King first item is going to be so monumental with his passive in order to bust down the early game tankiness, or rather lack thereof, of BLG.
And we're also going to see Jinjiao going up against him in an Essence Reaver, so it's not like he's leading in the item spikes as Curse. He thinks about that a couple more times as a level 1 Realm Warp. Jinjiao and XinMo saving their bottom lane turret right back where they started here on the Sivir, who has acquired a 20 CS lead from their time in the mid lane.
Is it not great that Yuumi actually joins in on the TP as well? It's just like the icing on top of the cake. However, Curse and also Crystal both have TP, so this turret should not realistically be falling.
No, Curse is going to back away as well. So OMG rotating once again. Good to see BLG have started to make the transition themselves, but OMG sitting in a bit of a gold lead due to the fact that they got the majority of this turret plating. BLG picked up some good picks. Individuality once again shining through, as it does with both teams in this series, but OMG got more turret plating. They broke down the first turret, so They lead the charge once again, and Curse has his old rival in ADD to contest with at the top.
Ooh, that is bonkers. And more to the point, you have to take a look at who specifically gets it. But in the
see Pigs coming out. The Realm Warp saved away. Curse gets out in the end. Trinity Force and ADD able to make that play.
Patience means that he can finally use the Realm Warp for a good cause and gets out from the lack of damage of the GP early game. I wanted to say that the real benefit of the turret plating isn't just that OMG got it, but they managed to divide it onto Curse and Crystal as well. Two of the members who need it most, because Curse is going to be splitting and Crystal is going to be in team fights. It is very optimal.
Yeah, it really is. Another Trinity Force is picked up on the side on that note from Icon, who also has a QSS at 15 minutes in the game.
Tax.
So Icon feeling very, very good at this point. Package up towards the top side. He wants to get ADD before he backs. Can he? Observer, look top, or maybe look bottom, because Hudie's been caught out by the rest of BLG. This is going to be a 1-for-1, because look at where ADD is. I don't care, or maybe I do. I do now care.
Windy
the Prowling projectile comes through, and a windy Q, you're right, Preacher, but ADD dies on the top side, and now it's a turret race.
So now they have to divide their attention between the turret and also the dragon as well. BLG can get one, but not both.
Observer just wanted to see the Yuumi go hard at it in that fight, but Hudie getting caught out again. It's been characteristic so far in this series.
Penguin, get over here.
However, look at where the kill went in that fight. So Penguin getting it means that the Jarvan, not with Warriors, of course, with the Cinderhulk, going to get towards that second item a little bit faster. But Ocean Dragon picked up now for BLG. And we'll have a look at this one again. This is the fight we missed.
All right, so finally he gets onto ADD, uses his Valk and his package as well, so there's no way for Icon to get out. Doesn't even matter, though, because ADD at this point is just trying to repel as much as he can. Very nice flash, but then he decides to walk back into Icon.
He almost did it. He almost did it. ADD could feel it. He could feel the Zoom Gangplank.
He's heroic, if nothing else.
Yeah. ADD, you know, I don't know how many good Gangplanks we have in the league, but we've got a few. ADD definitely sits up there.
Not even about the mechanics, it's about the mentality, and he just wants to kill.
Yeah, he wants to be a pirate. It's not too hard if you're someone like ADD. Level 11 on the Gangplank, picked up the Hex Drinker after that play, but falling down in the end was pretty good here for OMG. Able to push that top lane in a turret, which has actually just disappeared. So OMG still in a gold lead by 1,000 gold. They've sent Crystal to the mid lane. They are holding off the push of Jinjiao, who is just becoming unrelentless at this point.
Working out very well, because OMG are once again the team that need to make the proactive plays. With the gold advantage means that they'll be a little bit more confident in terms of these engages as well. Take a look at Hudie. I'm looking at you in specific with your Headbutt Pulverize. If he gets a good combo onto Jinjiao after the spell shield is popped, then he can make some good work.
Yeah, he really can. Oh, last minion tick, got it. OMG getting another turret. That's all the, apart from the mid lane, all the outer turrets taken. This Curse is going to be jumped on by a couple of people. You can see the rotation coming up from BLG. 4 members towards this upper side river. They still have not been spotted.
2 minutes onto the Baron as well, but keep your eyes on where the players of OMG are distributed. 3 players down onto the bottom side, because of course there are it's 2 minutes. Why would you even care about the Baron at this point? And they're trying to see if they can make some plays down onto Kuro, because there are no resources from BLG put down that way.
Yeah, they put everything towards the top side. It was like the playoff. 1 kill for 1 kill once again, and it seems like we're dealing with trades here in this second game. Curse, curious to see how he goes into ADD now. Not too well as ADD chunks him again and again. And Curse doesn't have as much sustain unless he gets in front of the Pirates. So, OMG, the grasp looking to fade, as this is not enough of a lead that we talked about in the mid game.
And they also have to be pulling the trigger right now. So one of the things that we congratulated BLG on that OMG has not really shown up on is the vision control. Baron coming up in 1 minute. They need to solidify that in order to keep their lead alive.
Meteor has flash though. Will he just turn this around? The barrels don't connect. The cannon barrage stolen and used for good effect. Clears out the wave. Crystal's up here as well. And it's a failed dive there by Meteor. Good.
Good repel.
Good repel. Thank you very much.
I'm helping you out here, man.
Help Penguin out, though, because he sends himself in with the Cataclysm onto Jinjiao. The final chapter to lock someone down. They don't get Penguin, who flashes away. XinMo back onto the side of Jinjiao, who has to heal. Cannon Barrage this time from ADD comes down. BLG getting tested in the mid lane too.
And it's burning such an important summoner. The flash on Jinjiao means that if theoretically OMG wanted to bait around the Baron, wanted to play around the Baron, the Sivir is just so much more exposed now. Nearly everybody on the team has a throwaway spell that they can use in order to pop Sivir's spell shield, and then it's just CC galore onto the ADC.
But the thing is, if you can't get the Sivir, Jinjiao's going to start dealing those bucket loads of damage, almost towards the second item where we start seeing that wave clear be instant. After the Essence Reaver, of course. And OMGs have to start dealing with the fact that Jinjiao could become unstoppable. Even going in for some of these invades, just gets a leash. Meteor pretty much got all of it, if not all.
Yeah, that was a little bit sad to see. It was a lot committed. It does mean that BLG can start clawing back very slowly in terms of the gold.
Oh, crap. Icon.
Oh, boy.
He sees the Predator logo,
Oh,
comes
boy.
up. He's going to get torn in. QSS is there. He flashes as well. But the Impale comes in eventually. Locked on down. Perfectly played by BLG's mid and jungle.
And very few people actually talk about the QSS tax in terms of what it costs. However, Crystal.
They're still going. Meteor's going to get turned on, but I think he can keep on going forward. Penguin joins, Curse coming in as well, but mid lane turret, because of the natural order of things, looks to be lost here from OMG.
And I was about to say, even though you can QSS the stun, there's still the ultimate and vice versa. So Skarner coming up huge inside of this composition. And with the movement speed, not only from the Sivir, but even just from himself, if you take a look at his boots now too, he's making so many plays.
Yeah, Predator Skarner is always the scary
And
side.
also the blue smite.
As OMG, they've decided to walk around the mid lane. They're down a member. Icon has DP, but here comes the Realm Warp. Final chapter. Onto one, onto two. Hudie's in the middle of it. Crystal sends out the culling, but he's just going to be taken down. The cow goes moo, and over comes Icon. He has the package available, but can he find anything? Kuro is quite low. Curse is still alive, but this is going to take a miracle.
Still just Alistar down, and Icon desperately wants to engage. It's a Skarner ultimate onto onto Curse, sorry. What are they going to do with him?
Yeah, nothing it seems. Curse is lingering around. Icon's still here. They haven't spotted ADD. The Gangplank is going to get targeted. They jump onto him. Prowling projectile only just reaches. ADD flashes away. Package away as well. Penguin gets sent out, but he's already dead. And OMG tried to make something of that, but just got deleted.
It is ultimate bait from OMG onto their own teammates.
Oh no, Prowling projectile again. XinMo starting to get some good targets.
Dang, Penguin went in because he assumed that the rest of OMG were going to bust down the DPS. However, as soon as he did, Icon just valked out of there and feels bad.
Meteor hasn't understood. He's getting flanked. He impales wants to get onto Icon. Good bait here from OMG. As Hudie is tanking up the damage. The burst from Kuro doesn't come through, and that's a Realm Walk once again. They're going to take it. OMG are coming, and it's on to Kuro. They turn. Crystal though. Good turnaround from Jinjiao, but can he go further? No, he can't. Cannon Barrage, final chapter. ADD can. Holy moly! Gangplank's back again, and Icon now the only one who has to stare him in the eye, drink rum with him, and get absolutely slaughtered with a triple.
What is going on here? Everybody is being caught out by the enemy team. It started by Meteor walking into people blind, didn't know that OMG were converging onto him, and quite honestly speaking, both OMG and BLG should have lost that fight together.
They really should have, but ADD cleans it up in the end. 5-1 Gangplank with 2 items and a firm lead. BLG in the driver's seat. And this just went on for ages.
Take a look at this. Hudie actually comes in from behind, Curse as well, and Crystal. So everybody is actually doing their part to stop Meteor from having fun in this game. But now comes the mistakes from OMG. Steals the Ryze ultimate. Yeah, let's just go. Wait, hold on a second. It's only Crystal, the ADC frontlining. Of course he's going to get taken down. And OMG finally picking up a little bit. But then ADD's TP, here we go.
Yeah, he just cleaned up the rest of them, didn't he? Good prowling projectile here from XinMo. Connects onto Icon, and ADD presses Q. Thank you to the Scrying Orb. So 5-1 and 2 now on the Gangplank. Serrated Dirk in inventory, and of course you're going to have that. You're so far ahead in this matchup. And this game has definitely not been about Curse so far. So this is going to be interesting how this one plays out, because Colonel once again turning over to BLG.
Man, he is flip-flopping more than Raz in this series.
That's a big goal.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Goal.
Look, okay, maybe not that big. However, BLG definitely in the firm lead. And especially after that last play, we're willing to overlook what Meteor did in the early part of that fight and just say, okay, maybe he was actually trying to bait out a few summoners. Who knows? Who knows what was going on in his mind? But BLG collapsing, especially ADD, now he is a Gangplank that went from scaling to scaled.
Yeah, now he's a Gangplank. Before he was a Gangplank, I agree. I think he's always been a Gangplank. To be fair, though, for someone like ADD...
A tale of 2 GP.
Yep. Someone like GP, the burst is just going to be so unexpected, and OMG have to be careful where they stand now. 25 minutes in the game, BLG 2k gold lead off the back of that fight, and it was a long one around the Dragon, ended up around the topside river. Topside river where now the Baron is being contested for vision.
Now we have to see how the distribution of lanes come out for both of these two teams.
Or just don't get in a lane. Fine, Crystal. Thank you. ADD number 6.
Man, that is just so punishing. If XinMo can find one of his windy Qs onto you, all of a sudden you cannot escape, especially with no flash.
What is Hudie doing? Get out of there! He's just been tagged up again. The Unbreakable Will. He breaks it pretty darn early as he drops as well. And the support of OMG is now 0 and 5.
Stick to your turrets, stick to your lanes, OMG. You know that they want to fight in the jungle.
And look, OMG have to take this into a 3 versus 5. Do they really want to take this? Icon goes with the QSS. Oh, Penguin almost dies on the way out. And look at Meteor. He's got the cat to flip-flop onto Penguin. This is not good. The Jarvan to escape, but not for long.
And you just asked the question, is this good from OMG? I'm going to say solid no.
I'm going to say it might be because Meteor's got low. Now it's definitely not as Jinjiao flashes over the wall. In comes Crystal to save the day. Into the culling. Misses. Needs another reset here. Prowling projectile slows him down, but Curse cleans it up. They want the turn. OMG feeling the blood, but one shutdown might be enough.
Nice. I was just about to say, why exactly were OMG trying to re-engage on the backside of that? You lose 2 members, and then you want to fight afterwards. Should have fight during. Another big question, why not stick to your lanes and stay behind your turrets? The only place that Skarner has the freedom to run up to you, even without the Sivir ultimate, is through the jungle where no turrets are impeding his movement. So these players and these positionings, especially when Baron is up, very questionable.
OMG, I don't think they're going to do this, or maybe they are. They've begun the Baron. There is
desperation.
There's a Mountain Dragon on them as well. It's desperation, yes, but can they get through with it?
Kuro's definitely coming up. ADD is here.
At 5k. Penguin's not even there, though, so Meteor's near the pit. Oh! And Hudie is going to die again, just like that. At 2k, Baron still hasn't reset. Meteor goes onto the side of Icon. He's been destroyed as well. Curse in the back of the pit. And OMG are routed. There is nothing they can do in this fight, as once again ADD has his way with it. And once again, Curse, as an eco, can't find the Baron. Kuro onto Curse. Woo! Prowling projectile. Over to GP for yet another triple.
And yeah, it was the best call that OMG could have made, but maybe they shouldn't have actually started the Baron. Maybe they should have baited it onto BLG. The combined MR damage from the Baron, and also just the fact that BLG could have easily collapsed because all of their members were alive, did not work in OMG's favor at all.
And look, they'll be able to break the base, but will they be able to end the game? Penguin in 10 seconds, Icon in 10. Realm Warp's there. They're bringing the minion wave. Hudie needs to slow the game down. He gets a 3-man headbutt pulverized, but it's not doing anything. Jinjiao's having his way with the turrets and having his way with the Nexus. And like I said, I didn't think it was over because we're going all the way.
Woo! BLG. Firm lead, especially coming in from a lot of very strange plays from OMG. OMG had the whole game, at the very least the early game, on a silver platter, but did not actually manage to get it into their mouths. They didn't eat it. It was just available for them, and instead they took some shoddy plays around objectives that they didn't need to take. They were walking through jungle as well, into a Skarner, did not work.
I have to say though, the props in that game go to Meteor, go to Icon. BLG just played that so magnificently, and then ADD comes in the end and just has the time of his life. That's a 3-1, 6-1, 9-1 Gangplank all of a sudden, and we'll look at ADD's damage.
Take a look at that.
Boy, oh boy, it was not even 30 minutes.
Yeah, and look, a whole lot of that came out of the fact that he was actually cleaning up these fights. You remember the triple kill that he obviously got. It was also from XinMo just slowing everybody on OMG down, but you have to ask the question, why exactly did all of these calls come out from OMG? Because even in the fights that they initiated, they didn't look good to start with.
No, but I think OMG at the end of the day will still look at that, still look at the possibility of their solo lane as an Icon and Curse and what could have been. Hudie unfortunately getting caught out a couple of times there, but Jinjiao just got in such a good position as well. And every element of BLG came together much like the end of game number 1 for OMG. So it's just so back and forth here that we go into game 3 with, I'm not even sure I can say expectations.
Yeah, because if you take a look at the way that they played that last game, Jinjiao and XinMo, you will say, wow, that's a great lane. They are going to have a really dominant laning phase. It wasn't even the laning phase they popped off in. It was when they were grouping with the rest of the team. And even though Jinjiao wasn't the sole damage dealer for his team, XinMo did such huge work with the re-engages with the Yuumi ultimates.
People think Yuumi does no damage. Well, you're absolutely wrong, because Yuumi does a lot in the early to mid game. Even late game, that's just so annoying. Prowling projectile slows for way too much.
And also with the heals as well, and the permanent shield, both of those two things were the deciding factor in the mid-game team fights where it was very close.
Yeah, it definitely was. So now for BLG, good element of, I guess, surprise in that game number 2, because I thought this was going the distance, but a big part of me thought that OMG, when they started to show those signs of life as we got to the 10-15 minute mark, that okay, it's just going to happen again.
And look, when you take a look at the way that OMG played, they were like, great, we're going to go for these fights. We're going to start focusing on the turrets as well. I mean, they had that lead. You saw when the gold started to flip over. OMG were in the driver's seat and they were doing really good work with it. But then all of a sudden the Baron's up and they're like, do we do this? Do we not do this? Do we just team fight them when we don't actually have all of our members around? Wrong choices to make.
Running out of options, Curse taking Sylas up into the mid lane was exciting for me. Up into the top lane, I should say. Mid lane Corki, it was good to see Icon back on as well. It's just been back and forth between the junglers. Whoever has the biggest impact in the mid game seems to be able to carry it through.
And it's also to do with the grouping for both of these two teams. So I was talking about how Curse, if he just goes 0-1, he starts to play onto the side lane. It turned into a little bit of a meme, but it definitely came true. And I think that if you were looking at the VOD reviews, especially as BLG, you definitely exploit it. Because Curse went 0-1, all of a sudden didn't really join the team.
But funnily enough, against WE, Curse had a stellar opening performance. Game 2 was a bit of a shrug off, and then you got to Game 3 and he had that same performance again. Not that Curse didn't go well in that game, but a bit of a non-factor against a team like BLG. And these early games are just changing every single time. BLG, I like the fact that they're willing to match a team like OMG who want to go bloody.
And honestly, you thought that Curse was going to do a little bit more damage in the game. You had the GP ultimate with your AP scaling. Yep. I know that I've been harping on it, but honestly, it should be doing a whole lot of damage. Didn't actually use it for team fights. He used it to clear the wave in order to save his turrets, which, yeah, I mean, I guess you saved your turret, but you didn't really win the team fight. So is that trade really worth it? Very questionable.
Either way, I think still for OMG and BLG, good form coming into the series, good form in both Game 1 and Game number 2. And Game 3 is going to be a whole can of whoop ass. I'm excited. So we're going to have a break and get right there.
的，但是中野好像不这么想，沿途突破两个，但是伤害短了一点点。恒温中招放出来了，刀妹下来，兰博的血量很低，被刀妹2Q 直接带走，再上来 Q 死对面的加里奥。打团我觉得优势还是非常大的，加里奥这边想开，这个嘲讽朝到了黑盾上，侧面张无忌这边切 R 技能交出来之后，刀妹黏着他，张无忌倒钩拉住刀妹，劳心开快表，侧面出妹过来保驾护航，大招甩得有点呲，又在交水银解掉后的第2段1技能之后，比双刃没有拉到，回身顶起来 ，UZI 被哈鲁给找机会秒掉了，而且张无忌的位置一直非常好，张无忌回身再配合哈鲁收掉一人，他想过去点基地，但发现好像基地血量很高。
这个决策就非常的果断了，
而且看到奈特是 TP 的一个真空期，只能往这边去赶路啊。
兰博的大招是下防守位置，要掩护 BG 的队员可以拿下男爵，是泡芙拿下来了，正面会不会被留住？被人是 Q 技能 Q 到了，一眼交出了一个金身，有大的 EQ 好像
这波打不了了，要后撤了。
他没有旗子，那后面奈特进场一个人在驱赶3个人。但是泡芙的伤害他还是顶不住，必须先往后撤，等
看一下能留几个龙种吧。
下一个钩索好了，能不能踢到泡芙？踢晕了那就没了呀。
中路这对线太难受了。
锤形态找角度单杀了啊！
这个点燃挂上之后，锤形态切换成炮形态，这一炮是没办法。
但这波还是要前压 VG 就。但我觉得 VG 有一个很大的改变，就是他们知道这个阵容怎么打，就是你不可能去跟对方处理边线。南风已经开启了自己的大招，吸血鬼这波进场是直接被灭掉，想拿到了人头。兰博的大招配合皇子，终于有一波不错的一个，但是在卡前的时候，而且奈特从1技能从左侧进来，是直接切掉了南风死掉了。正面女警是他乱战中脱点了一个霞，虽然这时候游到一个EQ连挑起人，但是没有人可以阻止奈特无止境的一个输出。奈特再斩皇子以后，车厘知道自己走不掉，精神火烤想换掉 Ben， 但这个位置是夹子在等着他。